I'm just going to just begin and do what it is I do. I am very, 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 very emotional today. And this is a big thing for you, for reasons that will be explained throughout the filming, but it's a massive thing for someone in spirit. And he is the reason that you're here. He chose you. I had 5,500 entries for this filming competition over a set period of days, and I don't choose. I get my daughter Poppy, who's 6, to choose, because I don't want to be drawn in to thinking I want to read for you, and I thought it would be completely individual if she did it. So we sat her down and we scrolled back through all the entrants, and some of the posts had 900, one had 1,800, and she scrolled and she just said, "Mummy, that lady there." And I said, and I was shocked. And I thought, right, okay, that'll do. And there she was. And I said, "Poppy, how come did you choose her? What was it?" She said, "Mummy, her son appeared in the room." Now, my daughter's 6 years old, and she's hugely, hugely psychic. And I think if she could have been here today, she would have. So she was chosen to choose you. It went very wrong at the end, Debbie. He thought he wasn't prepared for it. It was too soon. And he speaks 100 miles an hour.
Oh, yes.
It's like, I can't, it's just, whoa, slow down. It's like he has to get it all in the one sentence in case you tell him to shut up. So, and you did tell him shut up quite often. Slow down, shut up. So he doesn't know what to say first, and he's all like upside down with himself. So it's okay. He loves you very much. He feels he let you down. I know.
Never.
He tried so hard to hang on and to live. And he's fought the fight for 2 years, the longest 2 years ever. And not once did he think during that time that he would die. Not once.
I know.
I'm not going to die. I'm going to live. I'm going to live forever. I'm going to have kids. I'm going to get married. I'm going to do everything I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And that was what kept him going. There were occasions since April of this year that the thought of dying did enter his head.
Okay.
And it was your eyes that gave it away. I think you knew more than he did. And I'm not sure if you thought you kept things back from him. But you tried to tell him as much as you could.
Yeah.
But he knows that you kept some of it back. And he's okay with that. But you know the thing? He knew it all. So even though it was almost an unspoken thing, you just had this thing that you could do between the two of you where you could speak and you didn't need to say anything. And so you could sit there in silence but speak 1,000 words. And he still does that to you even today. From mid-May, he wasn't feeling very well. And you could see.
Now that I look back at pictures, yes. Didn't at the time.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's his head. His head's not well. He's dizzy and he feels faint.
Yes.
And his breathing is very, very, very uncomfortable. And it's the energy. He's always had energy for someone that's fought cancer.
Yes.
It was an unusual form of cancer. And he was saying that although it wasn't stereotypical, it was difficult. It had a high percentage rate of survival.
Yes.
His did. But from Christmas onwards, it got slightly more complicated. And other contributing factors were coming into it. I don't know if his immune system is incorporated in this somehow, because he's saying to me that he kept worrying he was going to be sick or be sick.
Worried about an infection.
That's the
Yes.
like getting flu
Yes.
or pneumonia, or
Yes.
because he couldn't fight it off.
Yes.
And so everything was like, had to be quite sterile, and he didn't feel he was kept in a bubble, and he wants to say that testimony to the fact that you actually let him live his life knowing that the slightest little thing could set it off, and for you half the time it was heart in mouth
Yes, very much
letting
so.
him out.
Yeah.
But you gave him a normal life of a normal boy his age, and he can't thank you enough for that. Life was normal. He doesn't even know what normal is anymore, but it was. And you and Dad. And who's Stephen?
His brother.
Did he not call him Stephen? No. I know I was calling him Steve-O or Steve or...
Stephen, yeah.
Or Dickhead.
Yes.
If I'm being really honest here. Because don't be nice
Brotherly
to him.
love,
He'll
yeah.
know I'm not. He'll think I'm not here if I don't call him that. Brave beyond belief. The sacrifices that he made were unbelievable as a brother, but he knows it. Had it been the other way around, he'd have done exactly the same
Yes.
for him. Christmas was difficult. It was difficult for him because there was always the worry that it would be his last. And you never showed that. And it was, again, as normal could be. Who let the lanterns off for him?
Oh, lots of people.
He loves, by the way, lanterns, okay? Anything that makes a kapow, I'm here. It for a quiet boy, he's all in your face. He's like, bam, I'm here.
Yeah.
And he likes that, even though he's not here for you to see, here for me to see. He likes that, and he likes the fact that people let them off. And
it was a bit of a saga, but anyway,
that's
he
for
would
me,
have got a laugh.
that is,
yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
And some, I don't know whether it was too windy, and some of them weren't going up properly, and I don't know whether you set a light to a tree, but it's making me feel like you set a light to the tree, okay? Like, Mum, please, we're going to have to call the fire brigade out in a minute. It only could happen
Yeah.
to you all.
Yes.
But that was funny, and you were determined that it was happening that night. It wasn't going to be tomorrow or the day before, it was that night, and you couldn't have cared less what the weather was like. And everybody was saying, but they won't light, and you're like, they will. You're not trying hard enough, you've got to do it. And suddenly it went very quiet, and the wind calmed, and you got the majority of them up. And they all went, and they didn't all go up at once, but he liked that too, because you weren't getting your own way, so he liked the fact that they all went scattered, because it made it last longer. Somebody keeps seeing rainbows.
Yes.
Rainbows are his thing. He loves them. My mum, bless her, does the same for me. And I can remember once driving along and we saw 4 rainbows in the sky at once, and I was gobsmacked. And I said to my mum, God, look at that, 4 rainbows all at once. What do you think causes that? And she said, I know what causes that. And I thought she was going to give some fantastic geographical anomaly thing of science. And I said, what then? She said, it's raining and sunny in a lot of places at once. I thought it was so stupid. Now when my mum needs to tell me she's here and I get vulnerable days, which are plentiful, the rainbow will appear, even when it's not meant to. And Chris Duffer, it's his Sunday name.
Yes.
Doesn't hear that very often, is they're there for you. And I don't know if people are sending you in pictures of rainbows, like showing you rainbows that are occurring, but he's making me feel that other people will start commenting on the rainbows and saying, look, there was a rainbow today. And I thought, of course.
Yeah.
Did he do stock car racing?
Yes.
Or,
Well, just kind of, yeah.
Did he try? Did he want to?
Yes. He used to go up and watch it.
Okay, loved it. And he keeps showing me a car, quite battered, with a white, like a Herbie car, but it's not Herbie, but it's like black or dark, and it's got like a white sign on it, with numbers on it, like 735 or 7 something, 3 numbers. I don't know if that's his car, but that's his baby. It was his baby. Cars were him and cars, and he just loves cars. Cars the movie, Cars the film, Cars anything to do with cars. That's what he does up there now. He's got a car showroom, you know. People often ask me what I think it is, and I don't refer to it as heaven. Everybody's interpretation is different, but I like to think of it as a place called Planet Zog, and I think that's where we go. And it's as far away as Australia, and there's only a one-way ticket, and you need interpreters, and mediums and psychics the world over are interpreters, and we can hear them in like a phone call. And in Planet Zog, it's just the same as it is here. And he's got his car showroom in Planet Zog. And can you tell Mum and Dad it's doing really well?
Good.
2 days before he went, I don't know if it was you that got told that that was it, to expect a not very nice ending. because they'd done all they could do effectively, and parts of Chris's body were failing him.
Yes.
And it was kind of starting from the head down. He was finding it difficult to communicate.
Very much so.
And he couldn't communicate verbally, but he could hear everything you said. Can I just tell you that he heard all your waffling and all your going on? And did you feel his hands?
Yes.
He was trying to tell you that he could respond back by
Yes.
squeezing you.
Yes.
He's so pleased.
Yeah. And his eyebrows, if it wasn't his hands, it was his eyebrows.
Raising him up and down, yeah.
Yeah.
It's how he's... I wonder why I was doing that. Just the whole... I had to get it across to you that I could hear you, that I wasn't gone yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a really stupid, horrific sense of humour, I have to say. Because he's at times when, like, they thought I'd gone and I hadn't.
Yes.
And I don't know if you were checking his pulse, but it was like, is that it? And he came back again. He had fun with that bit. Sorry, it's just who he is. Like, yeah, are we gone yet? He fell asleep. And he's saying that it looked more painful than it was. And it looked uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because he fought it. He wasn't going to go without a fight, did he?
Yeah.
He fought it every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And even when the light was there, he wasn't having any of it. Just one more minute. But he used to say that to you as a child. It's bedtime. Just one more minute. I was going to have my one more minute. And no one was going to take that from me. And I fell asleep. I'm holding your hand, or I'm in your arms. I'm with you. I'm right there. And I closed my eyes. Although I hadn't really opened them, but I closed them properly, and that was it. And you kissed him. You told him how much you loved you. And he heard every word. You stayed for a long time.
Yeah.
You overstayed. Because he's at the corner of the room, and it's like, Mum, you need to go. They need to do things. But he knew it would be like that.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to thank everybody. So this is a thank you to everybody who came to his funeral. Mobbed. Crazy. He felt like Robbie Williams. It was just all there for me. It was incredible.
Very humbling.
Yes, it was, to know that he was so popular.
Yeah.
And that so many people were there to support not just yourself, but to support him too.
Mm-hmm.
They're still doing that now.
Yes.
And it's everybody is doing so much to give to the world the fight that he did, and to make it easier for others in the same position. And there is a cookie jar, or a biscuit barrel, as I'd call them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know what that means, that he's saying people are putting money into the cookie jar.
Yeah, it's a foundation that we've set up for him, Paula.
Then he's extremely humbled by that. And it's called a cookie jar.
Yes.
Well, he loves the name. And, the biscuit barrel. It's getting opened all the time, and everybody's gearing together to do the things, silly things, crazy things, just to make money. And he knows that you'll spend it wisely in his memory. There are other things that you're planning to do in his name. The foundation is going beyond just Fife. It seems to be growing.
Yes.
And you're wanting it to be Scottish-wide and eventually UK-wide.
Yes.
You'll get that. And do you know why? Because he's right behind you. He'll never, ever, ever not be the driving force. Who's Honey?
Dog.
Past.
Yes.
She's with him.
Bet she is.
She's in here now. Oh, she's so cute. Did you have to have her put in?
Yes.
She's saying thank you. Oh, Debbie, she's... Oh. Okay. She's with Chris. Her best friends.
Mm-hmm.
He loved her to bits. Still does. Your mum's passed also. There's a grandma figure with him that I need to acknowledge. I don't know if it's your grandma or...
Right. Be Dave's mum.
Okay, there's an older lady that I need to acknowledge, okay.
Okay.
Your mum's still here?
Mm-hmm.
She's broken. I'm sorry. She's not going to recover from this. As a mum, I don't know how you're finding your strength. She can't seem to find hers.
She doesn't know though, Paula.
She does.
Really?
Does she have Alzheimer's or dementia? No. How have you not told her?
No communication for years since my father passed.
She knows. She knows. And I don't know how, but she does. And, you need somehow to communicate. Before it's too late, Debbie. I don't know how that would make you feel.
Opens a lot of old wounds.
I know it does.
Mm-hmm.
But he's urging me that there is a valid reason. While you've still got the chance. I know how difficult it will be for you. But it's really awkward, really feel uncomfortable, but I'm just...
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be in the position where she passes, and you have. I've been there 3 times, members of my family, with my own mum, and I didn't get the chance to say goodbye, and the guilt that I feel is horrific. But I've come to terms with that. Somehow she knows he's passed. And I don't know whether or not you just leave it like that. But I think what he's urging me to say to you, and I have to because he's very insistent, is when the time comes, make sure that you make the right decision to go and say goodbye to her or not. He'll lead you. You don't have to do it now.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want you to be in any more pain. News gets around in weird ways. She knows. But I'm almost sure that she has a head issue. And there's something not happy going on in her head. So whether it's dementia or a stroke or a problem upstairs, he's only giving me it the way he's giving me it. So excuse me if it doesn't sound very right, but I am being led by Chris, and it's just, Mum, just if you get the chance to do something, do it. Because he doesn't want you to feel that you should have.
Okay.
But we're not for that now. That would be later on in the rest of the year.
Okay.
The more the foundation gets bigger and the more people that cover it, because there's newspapers interested in it and there's people that will do write-ups, you need to get to magazines, you need to be kind of promoting it that way. It gets around like Reuters, it just does. And just be aware, just be prepared for that is all he's saying, okay?
Okay.
The older lady that he's with would be his dad's mum, grandma on that side. Okay, there's a J connection as well that I need to acknowledge with him. So I don't know if it's John or James, but I'm needing to acknowledge the J. There's 7 of them, or 1 of 7. The 7th month of July or the 7th month is important to her, so I need to acknowledge that. And I don't know if I'm supposed to count up 7 people or being 1 of 7 in spirit, but there's a couple to the side of her, which would be aunts or uncles. They're not, I don't want to say they're not important because that sounds awful, but they're not, and he's not allowing them to come through because it's not their time. Yeah, you know, this is my space. You can bug off. And why not? There is a photograph that's very important to him, of him. And I don't know where this is, but it's oval. And it's of him. Whether or not this is going to represent him in the cookie appeal or it's going to be
yes,
it's
I know it. Mm-hmm.
His face.
Yes.
When he looked good.
Yes.
He loves it, and that needs to be the face of me.
Yes.
The face of
very much so.
Cookie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that everybody will associate
yes.
with him.
Mm-hmm.
Use it on everything.
Okay.
Mum, can you just tell my story to everybody? Please. I need them to know. He was at one point angry with the hospital.
Oh,
and thinks that you possibly still are.
Very much so.
And if I'm really honest, I'm goosey. It makes me feel that they could have done more and they failed to do something that would have given him such a fighting chance. And he can't understand why that chance was not given to him. And they never gave him what they were supposed to. And he doesn't understand why. And that's what needs to be told. There are people here responsible for not... It was hit and miss. It wasn't a guaranteed success if he'd have done what he was supposed to have done. But then neither was it a failure. His reaction to something could have been so different. So why didn't they take the things out the fridge and put them in me, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are cells he should have had put in his spine? Or?
Yeah, it was a transplant, bone marrow transplant.
Okay,
from... a stem cell transplant.
Stephen?
Yes.
And that was never used?
No.
Why not?
Cancer, they said that the cancer was too far gone.
They had them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They had them when it was not too far gone.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
In a different county or a different part of the country, it would have been already done.
Yes.
And he thinks it boils down to financial.
Yeah.
And how much am I not worth? And that breaks his heart. I'm sorry. If I'd have lived Bournemouth, or Wales, or Glasgow, I would have been given maybe an extra 6 months. And when no cells replicated, who knew? Who knew? They don't have a crystal ball. They don't consult a psychic. You wished they had. I'd have told them. Please don't regret it. There was nothing that you could have done. You tried, but you were banging your head against a brick wall. And they weren't ever going to listen, Mum. I don't really know why they took them in the first place. I think it was to look good. It was to make it look as if they were doing something.
Yeah, protocol.
When really they were doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they had them there for long enough. They could have used it. And it could have helped me if it had gained me a week. It's a week of my life I deserved.
Yes.
That's the story that you need to tell. Don't be afraid. You'll get tried to get shut up. You'll be told. But I'd like to see them try and tell you to shut up, he said. Because you never do. When you think you're onto something, you go for the jugular. And that is something that you need to promise him that you'll do. It's his legacy. That's what his dying was all about. He loves his music. Not my choice of music, but he likes it. Did you used to put his music on in his ears?
He used to. He was able to do it, yeah.
It's what, right till the end, is what kept him going. It stopped his head being stupid. His head used to tell him make-up stories, and in the end it was difficult to ignore it. And so if he put his little music on, it would make him into a positive place. He missed his food, really. So for a skinny boy, you can eat for Scotland. He just loved his food. And the last couple of weeks he couldn't tolerate it. And he was finding that really hard.
Yeah.
He never got his one last supper. He was feeling quite nauseous all the time. And I don't know if he was being sick, but he's showing me actually feeling very sick.
Yeah.
That was hard for you, he knew. There were times when he made you leave him or asked you to go. He didn't want you to go. He never wanted you to. He did it because he knew that you were tired. And he said, I want to be on my own now. Okay, I want to go to sleep. And you'd go home. He only did it because he wanted you to have some rest. Whenever you left the room, he'd cry. He didn't like being on his own. You silly sausage. And he knows you would have stayed there for 24 hours a day. And walking out that room, I bet you cried going down the hallway too. I'm sorry. I wish now I'd not asked you to leave. I love you. promise. Apart from when I'm selling cars. I've got nowhere else I'd sooner be than with you. He keeps leaving you feathers. White feathers, you must be finding them. Or if not, you need to start from today. I swear if there's not one waiting for you near your car, I'll tell you off. He's getting to grips. The thing is with Cookie, which is Cookie, is that he, and the cookie jar, yeah, penny dropped, he does it his way. Always did, always will. And in life, as in death, he's unique. You must wonder why him.
Yes.
It's a question that he hears you all asking every day.
Yeah.
Why him? The answer's quite bizarre, because he was strong enough to be. And he was strong enough to be, if you will, the voice for the rest of the world with this. And the love you have as a family and the strength as a family is strong enough to promote the cause. And that's why. No other reason. It's almost like a sacrifice he feels. I don't know if you used to like Scooby-Doo, the movie. There's a line in Scooby-Doo and he's repeating it. A sacrifice? I'm a sacrifice. He's doing it for me now. It's a terrible impression of Scooby-Doo, I grant that, but yours was much better. And that's what he thinks he was, a sacrifice to make it so that this doesn't have to happen to any other family. And there is some big letters that need writing. I need to get members of Parliament and everything involved here. It needs opening up to the public, and I now wonder why you were chosen. Because suddenly the world will know about this, and will help the Cookie Jar Foundation grow and grow and grow. And that's why. And he's so thankful to you for being brave enough to come and have this done. Because it's the only way he could really get you to sit still. And have told what you need, because you know you can't. You don't sit still. You're so busy. You're like a headless chicken running around. But that's you. I need to say a really strange thing to you, which will sound peculiar. In all of this running around, don't forget to grieve. He says you'll know what he means. It's okay to let it go. Do it in your own time. Time doesn't heal. Whoever wrote that needs shooting. It's like having a hole the size of the Grand Canyon ripped out of you and trying to stick it back together with Play-Doh. It's impossible. And it could take the rest of your life before you feel any better. But you adapt. But you've not started your adaptation yet. You're so busy with everything. It's almost like he's gone to the shops and you just think it's a bit late coming back.
Yeah.
Or he's down with his car tinkering about. And if that's how you need to do it, then you know what, Debbie? That's fine. It's your rules. Just because Mrs. Taylor down the road might do it differently doesn't mean to say that you need to be her. You be yourself. But allow yourself time to miss him. Okay? It's when he'll come in the closest to you. Just you and him time like you always used to. Very, I want to say he's a mummy's boy, but he'll hate me if I say that. Too late. Oh. I can't believe you've said that. But you did have a bond.
Yeah.
He was always there, even before he became a special little boy. Little cuddly boy. Always was, always will be. Is there anything you'd like to ask?
Is he around the house often?
All the time. Every day.
And the Wednesday that he passed, was he in the living room? Did I see him?
Yes, you did. At the corner of your eye.
Uh-huh.
Yes, he walked by. Doesn't think you're ready for a full visual yet. Sounds like a different magazine that I don't think we want to look at. But he doesn't think you're ready for the full Monty, but it will always be. Is that in your living room, if I sit here, is there a door there? Or to the hallway?
Yes.
Because I'm walking through the hallway and you're seeing me out the corner of your eye.
Yes.
That's where he'll walk, to the hallway. And so it's not like he was in the living room, it was like he was walking by it almost.
He was at the door of the living room.
Yeah, it's exactly where I am. And he's kind of just stood there.
Yes.
And it was like a split second, and I think you thought, was that not? But it was. Just check in, make sure you're okay. He worries more about you than you do about him. Role reversed.
Yeah.
Because he knows you. He knows every inch of you. He knows what buttons to push, because he could push them too. He says, don't paint me like a saint, because I'm not. But he knew what buttons to push. But you know, if he pushed a button, he'd feel such remorse for pushing it, He'd be all over you like a wet rag trying to make everything feel okay. Did he used to write you little notes to say sorry? Like, I've got to write you a little note, like, I feel like if I've done something wrong, I've got to get you on the good side again. So I'd have to write you like a little note.
He did it once, from what I can remember, yeah.
Okay, that's what he's still like. Like, I'm sorry.
And I found pieces of paper in a bookcase, and it was stuff that he'd written. I don't even know when he'd written it, years ago probably, and I was really down, and I went to the bookcase.
It's the little notes he's talking about, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were just meant for you to find.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little memory box of his. You just get like a little memory box.
Yes, started.
Then put things in there. And it might not even be things that he had here, but it's things that will remind you of him, to show his nieces and nephews.
Mm.
Just that you can go, and it's okay to go in there. Don't feel that you need to, I can't do that because it'll make me upset. That's just an okay thing. Sometimes they're tears of joy, and they're not just tears of the missing. And he says that you're not crying for what you've missed, you're crying for what you will never now have.
Mm-hmm.
And he understands that. But you'll always have him. And I'd give anything right now to be able to let you see what I see. I'd chop my head off if I thought it would work. I'm sorry. I feel really guilty. But he'll always show you, always. And when you're ready, you'll see him. But you need to let him know, okay? Because he's not just going to come running in the living room.
No.
He doesn't want to freak you out. He likes to sit on the bed with you. He likes to sit just before you go to bed. He likes to watch you go to sleep, which you now think sounds a bit creepy. It does a bit. But he likes just to sit there, and he knows then that's when you're peaceful and that you're okay. And then he'll wander around the house doing his bits and pieces, but please look out for the signs, you will find them. And they're going to be funny, because that's just his sense of humour coming through.
I have to say, talking about Christopher's sense of humour, there was a piece of meat found from his brother's sandwich had miraculously disappeared from the bedroom. It had gone into his shoes at the back door. And we've always wondered...
Imagine. Ta-da!
Mm-hmm.
He will have fun.
Oh yes, I bet.
Yes, he will. He likes turning things on and off. He'll like making things break. He'll like putting the Sky information button on when there's nobody near the channel. And he'll like moving things around in the kitchen. He just will have fun. And you'll always know, don't question it. Oh, he's here again. Mm-hmm. Because that's what he's going to do, just to show you. You will get it when you need it most. Which right now is all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave you with his love.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
I would very much like to recommend Paula to other friends, family. I would use Paula definitely again for any future readings. It feels all very surreal, and of course I'm just trying to process the information that Paula's passed on. I think it will take some time to sink in, but I'm pleased of what's come through and everything that's been relayed through Paula. Yes, definitely much part of the healing process, to know that Christopher's okay, and that some communication from him and taking things forward, and a sense of relievement that what we're doing in his name he's happy with, because you always had that doubt that he might not want you to go and do what we're planning to do. So yes, it's been very much a healing process, part of the healing process, yeah. We've got various things in the pipeline. We've had quite a lot of people coming to us. We're talking about doing a cycle ride from our place of residence down to London, and then from London over to Belgium next summer. And from what we can gather, there's at least 40 to 60 people interested in doing this to raise money for the Cookie Jar Foundation.